Morning, everyone. Compliments of the season to you and yours. Another festive season is here again. My name is Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, and I'll be hosting the show today. This year on the show has been great. The feedback we have gotten encourages us to do more and strive to make the show better. We actually love you all. Your praise is highly appreciated, and your constructive criticism taken in good faith. We pray 2020 will be greater. The show is bumper packed today. Plenty power. Do not miss any part of it. I will tell you after the break. See you shortly.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. An episode of our show that got me thinking was the former Zamfara governor's cancelled pension funds. Some of your favorite ladies discussed. Please watch this.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us so very recently. In fact, it was in the papers today. There was a leaked document credited to former Governor of Zamfara State just a few months before the expiration of his tenure that he assented to the pension bill of 10 million naira monthly. However, his successor has stopped the payment of this sum. What are your thoughts on this? To give us your view, you can call us on 070-806-6804. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. Let's also note, it's not only Zamfara State that pays pensions to their ex-governors. In fact, almost every state in this country pays something lump sum, something very, a huge amount to the ex-governors. So, but why is this making headlines? I wonder how the paper got leaked in the first place. I mean, personally, I think it's an internal document that shouldn't have been leaked. But what are your general thoughts when this news broke? Who wants to start?
I think it came as a shock to people that the current governor at the moment will stop the payments, because we've always seen our leaders as people who put their interests first before ours. In the light of everything that's happening, we know that over 70% of our budget goes on recurrent expenditure. We're trying to see how we can get states to generate revenue to fund their states, pay. A lot of states are owing salaries. Some are saying they cannot even pay this 30,000 naira minimum wage. And we have people who are looking for pensions. You have finished service, so to speak, and now you sit back at home lounging and collecting a whooping 10 million naira. Is it not? Let me not use the word that just came to my mind. No. But I'm
listen,
happy.
But this is backed up by the Constitution. It's not like some money that somebody just woke up one morning and said, okay, let me give you 10 million naira.
Yeah,
this is backed up by the It's backed up by the
special law for governors.
It's backed by the law.
Is their law?
Okay, maybe not Constitution, but their law. It's backed by the law, the state laws. But the point is that he's not asking for something outside his privileges or what belongs to him. So what's the issue?
Now, well, the issue could be that the present governor cannot afford to pay these pensions, and he say, okay, let me start from here, and you have money now, let me try and pay salaries. I'm just assuming. Now, I want to make sure that when he himself is going,
the same thing will happen.
He will not collect money. Because that is where the real cocoa of the matter will be. I don't know, is the Zamfara State, are they the same party? Are they different parties?
They are different parties.
So maybe that is, so when he is now going, I don't know which party is.
Let me quickly lay foundation to this.
Because before you lay foundation, this thing they give us, they say, the Kano State Pension Rights for Governor and Deputy Governor 2007 provides 100% of annual basic salaries for former governor and deputy. Furnished and equipped office as well as a 6-bedroom house, well furnished, 4-bedroom for deputy plus an office. This is Kano State.
No, let's finish with Zamfara State first. So Zamfara State had an APC internal party wahala that made them lose. They won the elections, but once the court quash them for not having a primary, they, of course, automatically moved to the next highest vote, which was PDP. So that's how Matawale got into office. That's the present governor of Zamfara State. Now, in March, 23rd of March 2019, this 2019, I then passed this pension law that will pay governor this amount of money. So Yari, assented to the law that will pay him money. Himself. So now it's law. But then, you know that our houses of assembly, they be handbag, like they are in Kano. They don't have use. And our honorables in those states should be ashamed of themselves. Because if this was voted and deliberated and talked about, the people of Zamfara State, who are very poor people, would know that this money, we don't have it to be paying somebody. This is outside other allowances, is basic, which is equivalent to what he earned as governor for just 8 years.
Well, the thing is that, what I was saying earlier was that it's not just Zamfara. So why are we putting it into all the states do exactly the same thing? In fact, Lagos State has the probably more the buoyant.
I'm just saying.
Packages for their ex-governors.
Yes, they do. And it's alarming as well. But in Zamfara, Yari assented this bill, and the House of Assembly did nothing. So every time we have this problem come up, he's entitled to the money, and the House of Assembly sold out on the people. That's basic what is there. So the House of Assembly, wherever they are, the country, if you go around your constituencies, see your honorables.
So for example, Nima, let me say, Akwa Ibom, for example, their law in Akwa Ibom provides that 200 million annual pay to ex-governors and deputies. They enjoy pensions for life. A new official car and a utility vehicle every 4 years. Personal aid, provision for adequate security, 5 million naira per month, and 2.5 million naira for deputy governor. I mean, this is our money's agreement.
It's 300 million.
Imagine that. Let me give you Lagos State. Should we center of excellence? Let's talk about Lagos
According
State.
to the Lagos State law approved by former Governor Bola Tinubu in 2007, a former governor will enjoy the following benefits for life. 2 houses, one in Lagos and another in Abuja. Property experts evaluate these properties at 500 million naira. That's for the Lagos one, and 700 million naira for the one in Abuja. Others are 6 brand new cars, replaceable every 3 years. Furniture allowance of 300% of annual salary to be paid every 2 years. And a close to 2.5 million as pension, about 2.5 million naira as pension, about 30 million pension annually.
30 million pension annually.
The Plateau State governor says he was collecting 600 as pension monthly from the state government. But
so the question which Nima had raised now, what are the House of Assemblies doing?
Not them, they kill us.
They're just stamping. Oh yes, stamping. No, but they're not actually really deliberating these packages.
Not only that, a particular state in the southwest recently passed this law to cover speakers as well.
Yes, now we talked
they gave governor and then remove speaker and say, you two, you are unanointed. You have 2 heads. You two take pension.
Let me take this call and come to you. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, my name is Oji.
Morning, sir.
Welcome, Oji.
This topic, believe me, hello,
we can hear you very clearly. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Let me quickly appreciate you, ladies. God bless you. May you live long. May your days be long.
Amen.
Now, this issue here is something that we just needed to sit down and be beating. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Can be beating all the state house of assemblies.
Beat them.
See, we the masses, my sisters, we are lazy. By the time we beat one person for doing some certain law, my dad worked for UCH for over 35 years. And yet the same whatever, also participate in killing my father because my father has to travel for 95 years old from Abia State to Ibadan for pension something. Yes, somebody is marking for 10 million for himself for monthly. We need to start beating these people.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments. We cannot beat anybody because if we do, we're doing exactly what those boys that killed that Mrs. Obo in Kogi State did. Violence is never the option, but we continue to talk about it. So let's not.
Different
I know. One is killing, one
is not fair.
One is beating. They beat Ekere Madu in Germany. We don't want you going around beating anybody.
Yes, please.
Let's keep talking about it. Hopefully one day they will hear.
I think that the Constitution, 1999 Constitution that we're still using till today, has outlived its usefulness. But I'm wondering, how do we, call for a change of that Constitution? It's not serving us anymore. We need to
As Nick has
itemize
corrected
how
us, it's not
we
it's the
want
bill.
to.
It's the bill. I mean, it's the
Yes,
state bill. It's not the
pension,
constitution.
state,
So
whatever.
it's
No,
not so much.
because
No,
they'll tell you
but
it's
the
backed up by
constitution
constitution.
Yeah,
empowers
exactly.
houses.
So we need to, yes,
also.
it empowers them to make all of those
Right.
outrageous
Laws.
laws. So how do we fight to change this constitution to serve us?
Go ahead, Waki,
Just say,
please.
you see, I don't mind if they are paying themselves pension, but what about the civil servants who have worked for years, some 30 years, some 35 years, that do not get, they will be struggling. My auntie died waiting for her pension. She never got it. Now, I want to just, then tax. I want to just tell you, in England, my grandmother, she worked for a certain number of years. Then she came to Nigeria in 63 and she stayed here till 2001, when my mom died, 2002. She left here in 2002. Till she died 3 years ago, she was collecting pension because of that work. She didn't work for government, though, but she was a taxpayer. Now, because she was a taxpayer, she was entitled
all her
to
entitlements.
pension. They paid for her burial.
Imagine that.
Do you understand? This is a lady that did not live in England
for many
from
years.
64 or
my
63 when she
Lord.
left till 2002.
Hey.
When she got back, she was too old to work. She was collecting pension because she had paid
Nigeria,
tax.
see your life. Wait, let me take this
Now,
call.
we will be paying tax. There is no benefit for us at the end of the
We
day.
don't even know.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Hello?
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Thanks for calling.
Morning, Morayo.
Morning, sir.
Morning to all the ladies in the studio.
Yes, sir. Morning, sir.
YK, good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, this thing, I want to ask you, Morayo, I want to find out something. Either you or my lawyer sister there.
Yeah.
Are they taking the same thing in Lagos State?
She just means reading Lagos State
Did
now.
not hear it.
Just leave Lagos. See,
I can't
Lagos
repeat
State,
myself.
we might even excuse Lagos State because they're making some money.
In Lagos State.
Yeah, story.
That's what I wanted to confirm.
It's
But
happening,
I think
sir.
It's everywhere in the
It's
country.
happening in
It's
Lagos
happening
State.
everywhere.
Lagos State.
No, it's happening everywhere.
Let
sir.
me just depress Nigerians a little bit more. Let me give you what your
All
minister.
right.
Thank you very much,
Please.
sir, for your call. Let me depress us a bit too. Let me just read the one that ministers, our honorable ministers, are getting. Ramfac approves basic salary 2 million naira, accommodation 4 million, car vehicle loan 8 million, furniture allowance 6 million, utility over 600,000, vehicle maintenance. After they give you the vehicle, they will help you maintain is 1.5 million naira. Entertainment, you want to sing, you want to dance, you want to everything,
Hey.
900,000
Yes,
naira.
host party.
Wait, if next party. Leave allowance 200,000. Let me now scroll down to minister also receives over 500,000 naira personal assistance, 1.5 million naira for domestic staff, 300,000 for newspapers, 6 million naira for servants gratuity.
Excuse me, is
These are
this
for the
pension?
ministers, for
I want-
ministers.
No,
I'm
this is
telling you
not
the
pension.
benefits,
For
benefits.
sitting minister who is doing his
ministers.
work. It's two different things.
Wait.
The one that has work finished.
Wait.
Was for 8 years.
Let me do one more last one. Now, when this minister travels, he gets how much per day? $1,000.
Hey!
How much is that? Please, Naira.
May I
How much is that?
clap for them?
And I sabi minister.
That's
oh.
360,000
You know, I sabi,
naira per
oh,
day.
I sabi, oh.
Like,
No,
do
minister.
you spend 360,000 naira in one day?
Morayo,
Ministers with $1,000
Let's
per
pay
day.
50,000 naira.
May
in
I,
one day.
may I even clap for them for fooling Nigerians? We have schools in this place that people are schooling under the tree. We have children who are in classrooms that are not working. They don't have roofs.
There is a
And people
picture.
sit down
High five.
and collect 300 and
There's a
something
picture someone
a
sent to my
day.
Twitter page of a school in Lagos State.
Lagos State.
In town here with leaking roofs and
Thank you
everything.
for
I saw
fooling
just
us.
yesterday pictures of children sitting on the floor. Some classrooms didn't have chairs.
They don't have
They'll
chairs.
sit on the desks.
Their
Some
teachers
sit
are
on
not
the floor.
paid.
In one class, YK. They don't even have blackboards. They paint the walls black
Yeah,
and write
exactly,
on them.
and write on
in
them.
this Lagos State.
Can I just
So
say
whoever
another
is
part?
in
Let
charge
me,
of-
please, let me just say this part.
We have to
This, a lot of these governors,
Like, you have to go on a
when
break.
they retire, they don't retire finish, or they go to House of Assembly
Okay.
or Senate,
And they get it back to
and
back.
then they get double.
Oh, don't for your trouble.
Hey,
Let's go on
If
a
you're
break.
Yari, will you not write
We'll
letter?
be right back. Let's go on a break.
Nigeria.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So we're still talking about the FATS pensions our leaders get. In fact, I'm not going to Canada again, YK. I must be a minister because these pensions are really
Your
interesting.
ministers are not getting pension.
Not pension,
told
sorry.
me
They
during
get
the
the
break.
allowances. I'm talking about the allowances they get. It's an interesting.
You just told me during the break that this guy that is fighting for his 10 million is actually a senator. collecting fat salary.
You collect
I'm
salary.
fighting for
So
more.
what I can't understand is why are they collecting double money?
Okay, let me tell you what this man that is asking for the 10 million. Let me tell you what he's already getting as I'm speaking to you. A senator earns basic salary over 2 million naira, accommodation, motor vehicle loan of 400% of their annual salary. Motor vehicle maintenance allowance 75% of their annual salary. Furniture allowance is 300% of their annual salary. Utilities 30% of their and their medical allowance to the same thing. So that their salary, this is 2 million, and that's I think it's is it annual? Since Senator earns a basic salary of 2 million naira accommodation, okay, it didn't specify if it's annual or monthly.
Let's take
that's
some
what. Let's take a few tweets.
Homogbola says, one of our problems in the states are the state assemblies, which have become more or less rubber stamped to state churches. This monthly stipend is already provided for in the state's constitution as approved by the House of Assembly. No amount of sentiments here can remedy it, which is sad. Timilayin says, Morayo, you want to be part of them, those of them looting our funds. Minister of what do you want to be safe, if I may ask?
Minister of your views.
Minister of communication.
Remember the hate speech law and the penalty. They wanted to endorse the law so we won't be able to say anything against them, even while they are looting our funds. So sad. Damola says, Morayo, what happened at Kogi isn't the same as beating public officers who are robbing us and our children of their future. After earning so much in office, they still take that much afterwards. This is pure daylight robbery.
Yes. Honorable Ademola says, Morayo, you don't need to be a minister. Your calling is impacting lives, and that, to me, is fulfilling. To be honest, journalists like you and myself should be well paid. Make that a topic to discuss. Why are journalists not well paid? Who will pay us?
Go ahead. So the Kebbi State ex-governor, he said something here. Said there's nothing wrong for a former governor now serving as senator or minister to be collecting pension. It is consistent with the pension law and absolutely nothing wrong. Now, what is wrong with with them having a contributory scheme?
Thanks.
Like the other civil servants.
That's all.
You work, you take some parts.
Put your money.
Government
for 4 years.
pays some parts.
You need to put it for 8 years.
The rest of
No,
your
let's
life.
even give them 2
If
times.
you contribute from your salary and get your pension, is it not going to be fair for everybody?
Excuse me, can I just say that even the police who are supposed to protect our lives and property do not get this.
This kind
have
of
you seen? I read what the police get. The police get very little amount of money, and these are the people that when they kill them, their families suffer.
Yeah. Let me take this call from Yakub. Yakub, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, Morayo.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
And good morning, Sister Yenya and Tanima.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Obi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morayo, I don't think you need to leave this country. Because if you do, what will happen to all of us? All of us will be starting living one by one. Who is going to make sure that the country works? God Almighty have already used you for a purpose. And then which is your few. I can tell you today, your few has many followers outside the country.
You never turn to cash.
So, I would say that, Morayo, you see, this is the reason why, look at, just conclude the election in the Kogi State. Those are the reason why they give all these guys guns to make sure they can kill so that they can be able to get to that office. Look at among us money you are mentioning that to do. Reading those things out, you are depressing us. See, now we can't recalling the senator, we can't recalling House of Assembly, we can't recall even the governor, the House of Representatives. There's not how we can recalling them. So what do we resort to? Now they are taking, look at the Yari of Zamfara State. If you go to that state, Morayo, if you look at the state of environment there, including schools, here you are talking about Lagos State as well. You see, the problem is our legislation, the House of Assembly, the state House of Assembly. Because why they are saying all those laws is that they are bargaining. Sign this, I will give you that. Do this, I will give you that. And then if one of them rebels against that kind of a law, believe me, they will suspend that very particular lawmaker. And then we'll never come back to that State House of Assembly again. So, for me, we will continue talking.
Thank you very much, Yakub.
I'm very happy Yakub spoke about Zamfara State and Lagos State, because Lagos State, in the scheme of things, is one of the better states.
Yes.
If you go to the schools of Ogun State, of Zamfara State, of all these states, you will cry, you will weep as what you will see. And these are the future leaders of tomorrow. Excuse me, when you train children like this, when you make them suffer in this kind of conditions, what kind of leaders are they going to grow up to be? But how is Nigeria going to progress in the future?
How now?
There is no progress because they are being educated in the wrong. Look.
Remember Roman? I see Roman, the gentleman that came to us talked about the how important education. Osegale made it he made it very clear that if we're going to invest in anything, education should be priority. For whatever reason, our leaders did not even see for education as priority. For whatever education and healthcare, I don't understand.
Because they have settled themselves. Their kids are not here.
Morayo, you see the option of where to go is what has destroyed this country. Every leader that is stealing know that there's a place to take it. There's a place to go and live and spend it.
Now that we told the Nigerians how much their leaders are earning, what happens afterwards? Nothing.
We should be careful when we are casting
they started
our votes
thinking,
next time.
it will happen one day. You see this time bomb that they are firing, it will happen one day. Delany Roberts says, imagine how many schools and hospitals will be improved and more functional in Zamfara with 10 million monthly for the benefit of millions of the people. Now, the man who dropped the governance bar further in the state is demanding for it for himself alone. So that selfishness that you do, you see that money you gather, very soon your children will not have peace of mind to spend it. That's the reality.
Let me take Kingsley from
so much agitation on the
Kingsley,
land.
morning, are you there?
Hello?
Good morning, Kingsley, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Oh.
yeah,
It's broken. Okay, good.
we always hear from the main issues and we have questions here. I don't understand. Okay, now we're talking about hate speech, which the Senate is passing it to law.
We can't hear you very well, Kingsley. I'm so sorry. It's difficult to hear you, Kingsley. It's really, they'll tweet and talk with anyone.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to take Clinton.
Let's give it tweets.
Okay, Tiger Lee says probably we need to amend the constitution because it affects civil servants a lot, not just civil servants, but citizens. That's why they find it hard to pay 30K minimum wage.
Bilikis Mafe says, this is insane. What? In a country where people are poverty-stricken, living in penury, states underdeveloped, infrastructure non-existent, what kind of human beings are these so-called leaders? This is injustice. The allowance is unwarranted and sheer waste of resources undeserved.
No, Sir Kari says, Nigeria is finished. The rich are getting richer and the poor suffer and die. Nasiru says, tell me the reason why election would not continue to be a do or die affair in Nigeria.
Exactly. We have to round up. I think one of the things that I've gotten from all this is that Nigerians are so quick to attacking from the top. But the truth is that the real issues are from grassroots. So everybody, you have access to your House of Assembly member, you have access to your representatives.
Ask them.
What are they doing?
What are you doing in the House?
When these things come up?
No, but you know you can find them. They are easier to find than those.
Say it is me that I will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, hit the road at 4 a.m., get to work at 9, and I will not get home till 12 midnight. That will go and look for House of Assembly member. I mean, is it on Saturday when they are not working? I will go and look for them. What are you saying?
When he coin, all of you will start using torchlight to look for them in the afternoon. I'm telling you. When this thing goes round, this torchlight will be used to look for them in the afternoon.
Excuse me.
I will not say anything.
Okay.
There's no time now.
Okay, let me take time.
But say you have time to go and look for them.
Don't worry.
I say, what of the people I see on the road?
Let me take one call, YK, before we run. Titus, are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Morning. Go ahead, please.
Actually, those people, those House of Assembly, we need to beat them up.
No, I would say I won't accept that one. I won't accept that. No. Titus, I wouldn't accept that, please.
It's not violence. It's correction.
They are not helping Nigerians because what is happening in Kogi State is purely war. It's not election. They are fighting for themselves. They are not fighting for Nigeria. So if we have our way, we'll start beating them.
Okay, you know what? We have to let that line go. I'm sorry. As I said again, I'll continue to reiterate. Our objective is not to get violence. You see, if you, no matter how you beat or don't beat, it's not going to fix the problem. What we need to do to fix the problem is continue to talk about it and try to change the system with our votes. Get to know who your leaders are. Make demands of them. Go to their offices. Yes, you might not go back home on time, YK, but find time to go and find your leaders and demand of them.
This Felix's tweet. He says, you guys be speaking English. Why these so-called leaders rip you off? The payment and allowances has come to stay, and you guys cannot do anything about it in years to come. The reason why we pretend to be weak is because we have relations in government or about to become government officials.
Let me take this one. Mohammed Sani says, as an official who has been a governor, a senator, a minister, is basically a billionaire. Considering multiple pensions that the official receives, me, I just want to be a governor for 1 month.
May I quickly chip in that we'll keep talking about this and we'll keep having these issues if our political systems, if our political offices continue to be attractive, till we change it, we will be saying this over and over.
The lawmakers that are voting money for governors are the ones to change it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So we
Nigerians.
I've been saying it since that until senator is earning 10,000 per month
Minimum wage.
or minimum wage of 30,000 per month.
So we will not have any headache.
Only the people that want to save will
Let
go there.
rapture not meet us like this.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on this topic. Hopefully, we don't get like this is our work. Eh?
Love letter.
Don't worry, it is well.
We'll be all right.
By the way, I've been getting already lots of tweets already. I'm not going to Canada. I was just saying it for conversation. I'm here in Nigeria. I'm a patriot. We die here, have we?
Die here.
We die here. That's all we can say. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to the next segment, let me take a few tweets.
Okay, Oyinda Rolake says, this is the information that disheartens the youth. Why won't they travel to Canada when the country is hopeless? The labor of our heroes past is already in vain. I wish Awolowo and others can resurrect and see the Nigeria that they left.
It's high time, Bale of Nigeria says it's high time we have a fixed amount to be paid as pension to all governors in Nigeria. Not that any governor will decide what he wants to take after leaving office. Most of these people fail the citizens and they still keep benefiting from public funds.
All right, on that note, we'll move on. Today's Tuesday, so we always have to bring up a health issue. Malaria is one of the major diseases disturbing us in this part of the world. Join us on the show to discuss the control of malaria through vector management is the President, Pest Control Association of Nigeria, Mr. Kunle Williams. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, good morning and good morning, viewers.
All right, malaria. I mean, that's like the one ailment that almost every Nigerian has been through. You would think that by now would have been able to eradicate malaria. What exactly is it so difficult to combat for malaria?
Well, good morning once again and good morning, viewers. Yeah, malaria is the largest killer in the world today, and there's been a lot of efforts, both locally and internationally, to eradicate malaria. Of course, you've heard about the different foundations that have been put in a lot of, government has done a lot, WHO has also done a lot. Malaria can be eliminated, can be eradicated if all hands are on deck. Government has put in so much effort. We in the private sector, Pest Control Association of Nigeria, we're coming up as pest control consultants, and we're also vector control consultants, coming up with a kind of partnership, which is called Malaria Vector Partners, which is going to be launched tomorrow. So we believe everyone should put hands on deck. The doctors, the medics are putting a lot in place. Government is distributing insecticide-treated nets.
Now, let's bring this conversation home, because people find, I mean, I was asking Nima like last week that suddenly mosquitoes just came from nowhere, all over my house, my bathroom, the rooms, and I don't know how to, I mean, I can't keep pressing the flip because my kids are allergic to the sprays, so I can't use that. So I'm thinking, where do these things come from, and how can I protect my family from that invasion of malaria?
Beautiful. You just hit the nail on the head. We all need to do something. Our environment is what matters. You know, mosquito breeds from stagnant water. First of all, before we start thinking of insecticide, we have to look at what we have around our premises. The drainages don't flow well. They're going to breed there. You have unused containers around the premises. All these things are the first step in getting rid of mosquitoes. For instance, if you're going to look around your environment, you probably find out that somewhere, someplace, it could be the next compound, mosquitoes are breeding. It could even be from inside your sewage in the house, you know. And,
you know, I don't know how to put this now, but don't you think that the government is somehow sabotaging this eradication of malaria. Because we have a problem of waste management. You're trying as much as possible to be clean on your own, in your house, in your compound, but then you drop that waste and there is nobody to take that waste. And it's breeding. Every time we come out to clear our waste, I spend as much as 5,000 naira a week to clear my waste. You know, that's because I can even afford it. What about families that cannot even afford to pay that amount to ensure that their waste is being taken out? So if we say we give mosquito nets, you are giving mosquito net to somebody who is going back to sleep in a dump site. How do you think the government can really put their foot down on this eradication of malaria?
Yes, malaria control or elimination is it's not going to be a personal fight. It has to be, all hands have to be on deck. The sanitation really matters. You have the sanitation perspective and you have the pest management perspective. Well, we'll still keep on advocating to government. The drainages, you didn't mention that. Most of our drains, especially in Lagos, are clogged up. You'll find some estates around, even government reserved areas, I don't want to mention any, you find out that the drainages don't even move. So mosquitoes thrive, or, you know, where you have stagnant water. So basically we have to keep on reaching out to government. Just like we said, all of us have to put hands on deck. There's going to be a lot of, we'll need a lot of investment also in larval source management. You know, that's even, you know, like handling and managing where the larva breed from.
Is it really possible to eradicate malaria? Because from where I sit, I don't think, because this is a tropical country where this is where they breed. If, let's say the government, let's say let's say we can even swim in our drainage once if that's how clean Lagos or Nigeria becomes. Is it possible, humanly possible, to eradicate malaria?
Yes, it is. And quite a number of countries have been declared malaria-free, even in Africa. So it depends, yes.
Which ones?
Yes, well, in East Africa, I think, let me not be too, but at least the country has just been declared malaria-free in Africa. And the bottom line is, how much is government ready to partner with the private sector? And how much...
What's the private sector bringing to play? What exactly? Because we hear private sector. What exactly are they bringing on board? Because,
okay, thank you very much. Well, we are the private sector. PECAN is an association of private sector pests consultants. You also have the Dangote Foundation, mind you. You have quite a number. You have Access Bank. You've got a lot of donor agencies. You have Rotary, you know, Rotary Club, and just like my association. And a lot of people are putting hands together. But I think we should push more information out. And one of the reasons for us marking our 30th anniversary this year and bringing together the malaria stakeholders is so that we can increase the awareness. Let people know around, stop keeping things that would collect water around your environment. Make sure you clean your environment. We all need to assist government and complement government efforts.
So it will seem like the mosquitoes have become technological now. They are becoming as advanced as we are with time. Because at one point it was chloroquine, now artemether, whatever, you know, and so all sorts of drugs are being, you know, produced and reproduced to combat more resistant mosquito or malaria that we have now. Is it possible that, you know, we have a vaccine that deals with this, or something that, you know, that completely works from the roots rather than, you know, treatment kind of method?
Oh, very good question. I think WHO trials that are nearing the final stages on the vaccine for malaria, and I'm sure that very soon we may. But in the meantime, we kill mosquitoes and you kill malaria. If you don't have mosquitoes, you don't have malaria. So what we are doing, and that's the perspective we're coming from, that's malaria control through effective vector management. And
okay, so
the
people always sell all these machines that also attract mosquitoes and attract insects. You see them at stores. Do those things really work? They're like I can't remember. There are certain kind of lights They're supposed to attract mosquitoes. People buy them in their homes, but I know I tried to buy it one time when I had kids. I don't know, is that a preventive measure, or must we just go through ensuring that we clear the drainage? I mean, is that thing something that we can use?
Now, basically, the cheapest thing you can do is, first of all, make sure that your windows are screened. We are in a mosquito endemic screened. You know, we're in a mosquito endemic environment, and apart from you having stagnant water and all that, mosquitoes fly quite a number of distance to go to their host. And of course, you know, the WHO approach is on vector management is what you call indoor residual spraying. You treat the walls, especially in poverty-stricken communities that can afford the kind of insecticide that you and I can afford, or maybe afford somebody like...
Yes. My cousin gave me one shirt. See if I wear this shirt, mosquito won't bite me.
Did it work?
Heat nearly killed me. I threw the shirt away. I beg.
Good morning. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. My special acknowledgement is the youngest mother-in-law. I mean, the youngest grandma in the house. I always admire her. Honestly, the one sitting by my right. I mean, by my right. I want to say that I'm happy with what your guest said.
Yeah.
That it's possible for malaria to be eradicated. Please, I would really love him to share more light, because Morayo did ask him that how is it possible for them to prevent malaria. Thank God she made mention of her children being allergic to the insecticide. I also experienced the same thing too. So please, I want him to share more light so that let's really get ourselves educated.
Okay, right.
We
Thank you
have
very
young children.
So, thank you. Thank you very much. So, domesticating this conversation at homes, what can we do? Yes, some people use the spray. Others have issues of allergies. What can we do? I mean, if you started saying that already, that we should check around our neighborhood, see where we have stagnant water and try to get rid of them. Now, your gutters, your regular gutters, the water is supposed to be flowing. So whenever it's stagnant, that's a problem, right? You should ensure that we clear it out. That's one. Number two, our sewages, as you said, we should make sure it's probably cleared. And also the nets, the window, the nets, we should ensure that we have those. What else should we put in place to ensure that we prevent?
Well, basically, you mentioned the first aid that every layman can put in place. Yeah, we'll probably still reach out. And that's why we're partnering with the private sector is doing a lot. The Dangote Foundation, just like I mentioned, is putting a lot of people together. It's quite capital intensive, you know, to distribute those nets, those most insecticide-treated nets. Yeah, Yenny just mentioned something about a shirt that most likely it's an insecticide-treated material, just like you have insecticide-treated nets. That mosquitoes, anytime they perch on, the dyes. So basically, it's a continuous thing until we can. For instance, if somebody said people didn't believe that polio could be eradicated, and with a lot of investment, a lot of support. And
let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Nima had a question. Go ahead, Nima.
So one of the ways that we combat, mosquitoes is, of course, fumigation, using the insecticides and all that. How safe exactly? Because I have a belief that, it deteriorates our immunity eventually. Personally, I can't even stay in a room that you've used insecticide for 4 hours. Within 4 hours, I can't come in. More than 4 hours safe. I can't sleep there. So I know I'll be choking, and I feel that Nigerians is not an alternative to combating mosquitoes. So what ways are the safest would you advise that we should use?
Yeah, of course, we've already spoken about maybe the natural occurring way that we can, that's preventing and excluding them coming from you in the first place. And of course, let's thank God for technology. Technology has improved as much as you don't even need to perceive anything after your house has been treated. So that's the latest in tech. And then you have a lot of naturally occurring pesticides that are plant extracts that are being used now that are very safe for man. You have a re-entry period of about maybe 1 hour for quite a number of products that you can use for treatment.
I didn't know that. You can get that in Lagos?
You can get that from us, us.
Okay, let me take this call.
Yes.
Okay, let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning, I'm here, yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. You're live. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning. I just want to say thank you to everybody in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, let me say a big thank you to everybody in the morning for talking about this very topical issue. Yes, malaria is the biggest disease for human beings at this point in time, especially people in this part of the world. But we keep on complaining and, talking about the government. We are part of the problem as well because we don't keep our environment very clean. You see people, when it rains, they drop refuse in the flood. You see people putting all sorts of things around. So by the time we do our own bit, then we can hold the government accountable. Yeah, it's good to talk about the government, but then the blame starts from you and I. Thank you. Have a great day.
Let me ask you a question, sir. Melinda Gates Foundation boasts of millions or even billions that have been invested to combat malaria. In your own experience in pest control, where has that money gone to? And what has been done to actually indeed combat malaria in Africa?
Well, let's, just like you said, we should situate it locally. Let's look inwards. Melinda Gates Foundation has invested a lot in Nigeria. And of course, we need to be very, very fair to all the efforts that have been put in place. Malaria has been scaled down in Nigeria. Infant mortality ratios have gone down considerably. And of course, children under 5 years are very, very susceptible to malaria, and even pregnant women. And you find out that quite a number of state governments have partnered with some of the funds coming from the donor partners, and a lot of them have been invested in.
So this money has not been siphoned?
Well, I'm not in a position to tell you that. But I know that a lot of efforts have gone into even state governments have also drawn down some of these funds. I know that Lagos state government carried out indoor residual spraying in some rural areas. But
it used to be the norm.
Well, it still does happen, and of course you probably wouldn't get to know because most of it is done in rural areas. And
somebody reminded me of
there's no rural
those people that wore short sneakers. They used to come around.
Environmental health
when I was
officers.
young, I used to see them.
Those days.
Our population has passed that level. We can't do again. They just beat you up. But let me take this call that comes to you. Yes. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello.
Morning, sir. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning,
sir.
Yeah. My name is Olumide Gideon. I'm calling from Igondo.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
I think what Nigeria should emphasize on is to work on the vaccination. Scientists around the world have gone very, very far. The federal government, through the agency, through various agencies on research, to work on it because malaria is a major trouble in Nigeria. Go to any health center, private or public, about 70% of those who present are malaria related. Malaria is an opportunistic ailment. So government should work on it and also should work very seriously on eradicating it completely. Right. There are nations around the world, even 1 or 2 in Africa, that have completely eradicated malaria. Nigeria has the resources, we have
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So I'm a bit curious about the types of mosquitoes because I know that there are some areas, especially in Lagos, Surulere, that the mosquitoes have teeth. Like the mosquitoes have teeth. They are so big when when you see one, just exaggeration, but they are really big and they suck you dry. So I know that
in Surulere.
Yes, in Surulere.
How do you know it's Surulere?
I've been there now. I've stayed there now. I've been all around. Yes. So, and I also know that their houses are a bit more,
they have
busy, and choked. There's no space, so to speak. Sometimes you don't even have parking space. Does it have anything to do? Is there anything town planning can do, since we are working towards, eradicating malaria when they are mapping out houses? Is there any way they can position houses in such a way that there's a bit more space to, try to eradicate this malaria?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about it that the environment determines some of these issues, and we've already agreed here that if you do not have stagnant water, mosquitoes will not breed. So even if the town planning agencies plan the whole place and you still have stagnant water or drainages, you still have the same problem.
Yeah.
I can rest assure you that some of the problem we have in the world are women.
How do you mean, sir?
The mosquitoes that carry malaria are women. They are female and not male.
You know that.
So she was asking about the types of mosquitoes. So it's the female one that we have problems with. They are not fellas.
We learned it in school. Thank you, sir.
So we have a tweet for
I wanted
you.
to ask you, how high can a mosquito fly? If I go and live in 25-story
Yes,
building,
when I was 1,000, I thought when it was up big.
Yes, the mosquitoes don't fly very high. But their transportation, you transport mosquitoes maybe through things, different things, but they don't fly very high. But mosquitoes can fly up to about 6 kilometers to feed on its host. So some of the time you could have done everything in your compound.
They'll come from
and they could, and that's why we need to be very involved.
To my house for
We need to be very involved in communal efforts. We need to be very.
Let's take Emmanuel taking tweets. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I've been waiting.
Thanks for calling.
Good morning,
Go ahead, please.
everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ikodu. I want to emphasize on one thing. I want to appreciate the men who are our guests today. And one thing I want to say is this issue of malaria is not something we can say, okay, let's continue going for vaccination. If we do not tackle the environment sanitation, it is just a kind of a waste of time, because the major issue we're having is environment. No matter how you vaccinate, that person after receiving the vaccination come back home, the mosquito will still bite him. Even if you give somebody mosquito net, he will not wear mosquito net to be walking along the street. He will not wear mosquito net to market. He will not wear mosquito net to farm. Mosquito will also bite you. So the best thing is for us to look into. There's somebody that tweeted in your tweet. He said that in olden days, the government used to go around to make people's homes and environments and the areas. And then looking into the situation in Lagos, let me just use Ikorodu, Odogunyan very side. You find that we don't have these waste carriers anymore. It is only those companies that can pay big money that they go to their place and pick dirty. Go to streets, go to the houses, you see dirty packed. Initially, they used to go to houses and they collect money. Each room will pay 500 naira, each flat 5,000 naira for mostly.
Thank you very much for your views. I'm
There's
sorry
we have to
run up. We have to run up.
Mr. Mo says, God bless you for this malaria discussion. Malaria has been my biggest health challenge. For the past 6 years, I have had to visit the hospital yearly treating acute malaria, and as I take anti-malarials quarterly. Please, what is the natural remedy for this?
I have to run up. I don't have any more time.
Natural remedy is kill mosquitoes.
All right, that's all we can take on this.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. That show was heavy. When I heard all those governors and clinical and their pensions, I was actually saddened, to be very sincere. I was actually saddened because the pensioners have worked for years and years and they don't get anything. They've struggled to get their pension, and they have served the country. I think the government should, I'm not saying the governors shouldn't get a pension, but they should be able to help or make sure that all citizens get their pension as well, and this is astronomical pension. I don't understand it, Shao. We have been having a live audience show for a while now. Some of our dedicated fans make it a point of duty to come every Wednesday. We don't take this for granted. So we asked some of them to give us their favorite episodes. Watch this.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
My name is Best Honora. I'm an entrepreneur. I deal on electronics and electrical materials. I represent Your View. In fact, Your View has been one program that I don't trade for, because since I started watching Your View from the onset, I've learned a lot. I've learned how to stand up on my right as a woman. There are so many interesting topics in Your View that I have learned from, especially the one they dealt on NEPA. That was in May, when they invited the Otumba from Abuja, the disco man. In fact, that topic made me to know when to approach NEPA for anything. I know that this topic has dealt so much on what is really troubling most Nigerians, and that is light. So keep on watching Your View, and I hope you watch this program.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Okay, so we were supposed to have a segment on stress management, but because this NEPA issue is very pressing, so we asked Mr. Samuel to hang in there. He's going to come again next week, Wednesday. So please come on the show next week on stress management. That will be our focus on next week. But first, Nigerians keep complaining that the state of electricity is not improving. Me, I feel it has improved, though, but in the last couple of weeks, they showed us Pepe. They talk about megawatt drops, the energy thefts, mega bypass, the scarcity of prepaid meters, the whole works. Our guest today will be shedding more light on the solutions. Join us is the Executive Director, Association of Nigeria Electricity Distributors. That's the Bobo Discozo. Chief Sunday Oduto. Welcome to the show. So, really and truly, the ladies of Your View, we talk about power issues all the time. So I would actually like to start with the audience on this show, this because they are the people. They are the ones experiencing it. They're the ones having issues. So I will get a few questions from the audience first before we now go to what the real other issues are. So let me go to the audience. Let me take one or two comments. Go ahead, Mr. Daniel.
My name, I want to lay a complaint because even before the megawatts drop, it was a problem in our area. At times, 2 days, 3 days, we don't have light.
Which area?
Sleeping at night is very tormenting.
In this heat?
Mention the area.
Which area? Which area?
Ikeja.
Ikeja.
I stay off Awolowo way, Ikeja.
Okay.
It's tormenting. At times, 5 days, 1 week, I begin to wonder.
Okay, 1 second. Let's take another comment, yes? Who else has experience for distributing companies? I don't want to say NEPA. Discos. Go ahead.
For me, the NEPA in my area, we have lights like almost 24/7. But the bill is really outrageous. The bill has to be reduced. Like sometimes 15,000 naira, 25,000 naira. Yes.
Which area?
Akute area.
Wow. I'm moving there.
But the bill is really, really outrageous.
Okay. Let me take one more comment. One more comment from the audience.
I'm sorry. I live at Akute. Inside Martin's estate. We don't have like, we always have like 1 day on, 1 day off. And it's just 5 hours. I don't know where in Akute she lives, you know. It's terrible. Very terrible. The distribution link is worse here.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
bad.
so,
I can't even see
let's us. Thank you very much for the comments. Let's calm down. Let's let our guests respond. So we've had Ikeja off Awolowo way. We've had two sides of Akute. One have light, one no have light. Yeah. So,
thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Okay, forget the preamble. Go straight to the point.
The point is, Morayo, don't worry. Now, the point is that the quality, quantum, or hours of light that you have in this country sometimes depend on where you live, the location. And let me start by a little bit of why that is so. We have the valuation that we have generation companies, those are the producers, just like producers of bread, like bakery. We have the transmission company. That is they are the one that wield the power from the point of generation, that production point to distribution point. So it's like the truck that takes the bread from the bakery to those who sell it to
the wholesaler.
ShopRite. Then we have the distribution company that I represent. They are the one that you know, they are the one that take all the bullets. Right. Now, our own country is unique. And let me start by saying that everything I'm going to say has nothing to do with the current government. It's not an indictment of this current government, not even the immediate past government. It's an indictment on all of us as a country because we have failed since 1960 to date. So when you fail to do something in 1970, for instance, it will now catch up with you by year 2000. By 2018, it's going to be worse. Okay. So this current government, let me start, have done so much, but the problem is so much. The TCN, which is the transmission in the middle, the way they designed the Nigerian one, which is very ridiculous, it is radial, and I will explain what I mean. It goes towards one direction. What that means is that when it's going towards one direction, should there be a problem this side or that side, it can't solve it. There's supposed to be a loop. I lived in the United Kingdom for 26 years, and I know for a fact in that sector where I have experience that there should be a loop. The transmission company of Nigeria that we have, that this current government inherited, they are trying to fix it now, goes like that. It's radial, that's one. Number two, the infrastructure is dilapidated. In the past 65 years, we have not done much. Between 1989 and 1999, Nigeria was ruled by 4 different people. General Babangida, Chief Shonekon, General Abacha, General Absalam, Abubakar. In those 10-year period, they had a lot of money voted in their budget every year for power. Not a single power plant was built. The failure of 1989 to 1999 will surely catch up with you in 2019.
That's what's happening.
So we need to understand, this is not blaming anybody. This is saying, I'm just begging, we need to put the nation first. Okay. We need to love this country and be passionate about Nigeria. Now, for those, the gentleman on Awolowo Way, I'm glad to know about this. For me as a person, I will find out, because one great thing that we've noticed is that people that live within the Ikeja franchise area do have light a lot. Not everybody. Like I said, it depends on the location where you are, but I'll find out about that one to know if there are some local issues. Because what happened is, what we have is not enough. There are 5 of us here. This cake may be enough for us to eat. But if you just assume that you have 5 children, but the food that you have at home at every point in time is not enough for more than 2 children. It means that 3 of them will have to wait in the morning. 2 will eat breakfast. In the afternoon, another 2. In the evening, another 2. So and this is what I mean. We have had 3 milestones that I want to mention. 7th of February 2016, the highest we generated. At that time, the highest ever in Nigeria was on the 7th of February 2016. We generated 5,074 megawatts. Out of that, TCN, those that wield the power, were only able to wield 4,557 megawatts. That's the highest they could wield. Now, on the 17th of December 2018 again, we generated another high, 5,222 megawatts. TCN was able to wield 4,049 megawatts. The one that we did this year, the highest ever in the history of Nigeria, was on the 7th of February 2019. We generated 5,375 megawatts. TCN was only able to wield 4,303. What it means is that what you get in your home is only what TCN is able to wield. Whenever anybody tells you, we're generating 8,000, we're generating 15,000.
It's not true.
Not that they're lying, but there's something they're not saying.
Yes. Oh.
When you talk about generation should be about what is able to go to your home. Morayo's new baby has the potential to have a first class, like my daughter did. But Morayo's baby is still a toddler. So the potential is different from actual. I'm talking about actual.
Let me come to Nima for a second, because yes, go ahead.
That's where the problem is, sir. Yes, government didn't do what they needed to do, and people criticized them. So we had to change NEPA to PHCN and then to the discos.
Wow.
So government actually did something. Why is it
Yes,
not
very
producing the result that we were hoping that it would give
We're
us?
not getting the result because, again, I hate to mention what people call the Nigerian factor. The Nigerian factor is a stupid, ridiculous, unpatriotic factor. What is that factor? You sold assets to people. The investors that bought the discos paid a cash sum of $1.4 billion, and I'm saying this on national TV. This was in debt and equity. Now, as soon as they bought this thing, anybody doing business, including TVC as a station, business has to do with cost recovery. You go into business, you put your money into it with the hope that you can recover your costs. And that's what drives investment. Okay? The major problem was that as soon as this was done by the previous government, everything that was agreed to be done was curtailed by that government. Allegedly because the then president was hoping to get re-elected, so he didn't want to tell Nigerians the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that whether you're selling bread, akara, or electricity, there's a cost of production. Let's be real now.
The layman right now does not understand all of these percents.
Yes.
They want to see power.
Yes.
And the last time you were on this set, that was last year, you promised that the prepaid meters would have been ready and people will be able to get. We're still waiting for the prepaid meters. All over the states, we've had protests of estimated billing. People are complaining, they take off their light, and what do we do in the interim before the prepaid meters arrive? Is there a way that that estimated billing can be looked into properly? Because people are suffering.
Well, thank God, today's date is the 1st of May, and I must say, federal government did something very commendable. The current government, they brought in a method that will enable us to meter Nigerians en masse. It is called MAP, Meter Asset Providers.
Okay.
Officially, MAP takes off today, officially. But the operators still have some issues that they're dealing with, but definitely we're going to get there. This is number one. The issue of metering, of course, meter is an instrument of measurement.
Yes.
It is better for people to be able to measure what they consume.
Exactly.
So that there will not be argument as to. So estimated billing does not do us any good. Neither does it do the customers any good. So the map is in now. We're hoping that that will shoot up because we have many, the local meter manufacturers and many other.
Okay, let me pause you for a second because it's important that we communicate. Because a lot of grammar has been spoken.
Exactly.
And that's what she was trying to make us understand, that some people might not understand. Let me try to reiterate. Because the truth is that if you do not understand, we'll
just speaking
continue to
English.
complain. What he has said two very important things here. And you must understand the history of that transmission company. So you can, if you like, generate 10,000 megawatts, or what is it megawatts? If you generate 10,000, if your transmission can only transmit 5,000,
that's what you're doing.
That's all you're going to transmit. So you don't have the capacity to transmit the entire 10. So if you like, generate it, that transmission can only take 5,000. That 5,000 said, when now reach to discos, discos too, I don't even know if they have the capacity to distribute that 5,000.
I'll tell you what the capacity of the discos.
What's the capacity?
The discos that this morning have the capacity to distribute 6,288
So they're not
megawatts.
getting
So if you
enough.
do 7,000,
Okay.
they can't distribute
Very
it.
good.
But
stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Oh, that was awesome. I love our fans. I love them. You see that, our audience? I love them. Go. The way they just hail us when they see us. When I came back from my Omugo, of which I will be going again, I better quickly tell you again. When I came back from my Omugo, if you see the way they hailed me, my head was like this. I was so happy. I was so happy. Well, thank you to our live audience and everybody. Well, we're talking about the live audience now. Anyway, 2019 has been difficult for a lot of us, lack of funds especially. You know, money makes the world go round. But my deepest worry is the indiscriminate arrest of people who are not obeying court orders. I think government should listen to the pulse and the pain of the people. That way, the sky is the limit for them. If they listen to what people are saying, we will love them. But you can't just keep on taking us for granted. So please, please, Nigerian government, hear our cries. Let me use this opportunity to thank our production crew, because without them, we wouldn't have a show. That's the truth. Let me use this opportunity to thank our fans. This one I must sit down with to thank you. Thank you, because without you, we will not have a show. They would have closed doors down because they will say, so you make our show. So my thank you is special. Eshegoni, Nagode, Dalu, and for any other language that I've forgotten, please just tweet to me and teach me. I want to learn all the Nigerian languages. At least thank you in all the Nigerian languages. Thank you very, very much. We are indebted to you. Thank you. If you must drink, do not drive. If you must drive, do not drink. Be safe and see you next year by the grace of our Creator. Have a wonderful new year and keep watching Your View.